Have you ever felt this way? Or are you feeling it and finding it hard to get out of this zone? Maybe you feel that your presence is valuable. Were you, always answering every message, always picking up every call, always saying yes when your heart screamed no, even when you are tired and frustrated, and a strange feeling that can't be explained. I'll tell you why. Because you're always available. You became the reliable one, the fixer, the healer, the always there friend. Your availability was your love language, but somewhere along the way, you forgot how to show up for yourself. You wore always being available, like a badge of honor. You believed it was noble, selfless, good. But what you didn't realize was that your constant availability came at a cost. Your peace, your energy, your sense of self. It doesn't always look like exhaustion. Sometimes, burnout wears a smile. It shows up when your chest feels tight around people you once loved to be with, when your silence is louder than your words, when your joy starts feeling distant. You begin to resent the very people you used to comfort, not because they've changed, but because you've poured so much into others. You've run dry. You feel guilty for wanting space, guilty for needing rest, guilty for not being you anymore. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. Love isn't about being constantly reachable. It's not about self-sacrifice, disguised as kindness. Real love has boundaries. Real love knows when to say not now. Being there for others is beautiful. But if you're always there, you leave no room to be there for yourself. You begin to lose track of your own voice, your own desires, your own life. Every yes you gave out of obligation was a no you whispered to yourself. Until one day, you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. Not because you've changed too much, but because you forgot who you were before the world needed you. There is a quiet power in saying no, not out of anger, not from bitterness, but from self-respect. You don't owe everyone your time. You don't have to pick up every call. You don't need to respond to every message. You're not cold. You're not rude. You're reclaiming your energy. When you say no to things that drain you, you say yes to things that nourish you. You say yes to silence, to rest, to your own growth. And that right there is sacred. When you stop being available, some people will drift. Some will stop reaching out. Some will be offended. Let them. Because what you're entering isn't loneliness. It's solitude. And there is a difference. Loneliness is the ache for connection. Solitude is the space for self-reconnection. In solitude, you begin to hear again. Your voice, your dreams, your truth. And slowly, the silence becomes a friend. You no longer run from being alone. You begin to crave it. You begin to grow in it. Setting boundaries is hard, especially when you're used to being accessible. You'll fear hurting people. You'll fear losing connections. But ask yourself, are those really connections? If they only exist when you're sacrificing yourself? Boundary isn't a wall, it's a bridge, built with honesty and love. It says, I care about you, but I care about me too. I want to support you, but I can't always carry you. I am still here, just not at the cost of myself. True connections survive boundaries. They don't demand your exhaustion. When you stop constantly reacting to the world, you finally begin to respond to your own needs. You begin to remember the hobbies you once loved, the dreams you once had, the thoughts that weren't shaped by other people's expectations. You rediscover the childlike joy of doing things just for you. Not for praise. Not for validation, just because they make you feel alive. Maybe you'll paint again. Maybe you'll write. Maybe you'll start walking without a destination just to feel the wind again. Whatever it is, It will feel like coming home. Your time is the most precious thing you own, and when you're always available, you're giving away your time like it's limitless, but it isn't. When you begin to guard your time, you begin to guard your spirit. You start making space for healing, for rest, for rediscovery. You learn to be with yourself. Not just tolerate yourself, but enjoy yourself. And in that process, you begin to feel whole again. Some will call you distant. Others will call you selfish. Let them talk. You're not here to explain your peace to those who benefit from your chaos. You're not responsible for how people react to your growth. You're allowed to outgrow roles that kept you small. You're allowed to change. Remember, the version of you they miss was the one that forgot about yourself. You don't have to disappear. You don't have to isolate. You just have to be intentional. Be present where your heart is safe. Be available where you are seen and valued. Speak where your voice matters. Let your presence be a gift, not a given. Because when you stop being constantly available, you don't become less kind. You become more true. It won't be loud. It won't be dramatic. It'll be a quiet morning, a cup of coffee in your hand, a deep breath. And in that moment, you'll feel peace without explanation. You'll smile, just for yourself. No one will need you. No one will call. And for once, you won't feel lost. You'll feel whole. And that's when you'll know. You found the self you'd buried under years of being always available. Closing reflection. So, stop being always available. Not because you're bitter. Not because you've stopped caring. But because you finally realize you matter too. Your time, your peace, your healing, your joy. You're not here to carry the world. You're here to experience it, to grow within it, to become yourself fully, and that can only happen when you start choosing you.